Hello everybody, here trying to fix an LG Velvet. Model number is G900 and it's a T-Mobile version. So I've already ordered the part for a customer and I'm going to go ahead and switch that because they have some issues with the digitizer marking numbers on their own. So the first thing we're going to do is take the back off. In order to do that, we need a good suction cup for this glass or back removing tip tool. It's not really a good tool because it crapped out on me, kind of bent like that. Would not recommend you guys buying one of these. One of those actual suction cups would help you a lot more. Okay, so we need that, and this is a part that it's a part of the boxes that the LCDs and the screens come in. I'm going to go ahead and create a nice big plastic tool from this. I want to just cut it. It doesn't have to be an exact shape. I'll make a big enough tool to use. So, alright, so I made my tool. I also have the guitar pick. This is the 0.71 millimeter, very thin and flexible. I use this a lot. And this is what I use for removing the batteries. I put the tape on it because I don't want it to puncture the battery or scratch anything. And when this gets bad, as it is now, a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and put another piece of tape on it. Alright, and then the heat gun that I use for removing the back glasses is always this Willer 6966C, the best because it has the heat and the cold, the hot and the cold. And it doesn't get that hot, especially this tip. With any other heat gun, if use it for maybe a few seconds, if you put your hand on it, it burns you. This one would not burn you. Anyways, let's get started. Put this aside for now. Yeah, first thing I would do is I would remove this sticker because that's going to be interfering with the suction cup. Use it for about 15-20 seconds around this area, the bottom only. Because if you do the entire back, by the time you get to the middle, it's going to cool down. So you have to keep it reheating. Alright, so this suction cup, as I explained, it's not really a good one. Let's see if it works still. I'm going to put it as close as possible to the tip and try to force it open, but carefully. Okay, so I have an opening. I'm going to place my guitar pick on that. Now it's time to remove the suction cups. Alright, leave that there, heat it a little bit more. Just 1/3 of the way down. Slowly insert the tool that I made. What I like about these things that I make is this pretty flexible plastic. So if you use anything thicker than that or anything stiffer than that, it would actually crack the glass because it's not going to bend, especially when it comes to areas like this. You see there's a little gouge or a little curve area here and around these buttons. So if you use something stiff and you go through it, you're going to break the glass. I'm going to be inserting that here carefully, opening it up. Just take your time when it comes to this. No need to rush. Go to the other side. See, with a bigger tool like this, goes all the way in. If I remove that, heat it up a little more. You don't have to heat up the upper part, the more part that you already removed or detached. So yeah, don't hold the heat gun in one area, just like that. Just like spray painting something with a spray machine or paint gun. Because if you hold the heat gun in one area for too long, you're gonna heat up the components on the inside and melt them, possibly burn them. Okay, now try to remove the rest of it. Okay, so the way I like to hold it with my thumb and my finger or fingers, hold it like this so that way it doesn't stick again, and kind of allow the heat to go through the cracks. If you can't move the heat gun, just move the phone. Alright, now see what areas are still sticking. Okay. I always try to avoid hitting the camera optical itself. They're very sensitive. Heat up a little bit more. I don't want all the hard work to be wasted. The sound that you're hearing is just the plastic and the tape coming apart. Just keep reheating it, don't force it too much. Okay, as you see, the back is not cracked or anything. The danger of breaking the back glass is over, thank God. Put the sticker back to where it belongs. My beautiful tool. Put it aside. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and remove the these screws, the silver screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and go ahead and replace that. Remove that. I kind of loosen it up manually with the screwdriver. Okay, these are loosened up. I'm gonna go ahead and use this little drill that I use for Samsung and LGs, anything by iPhone really. Let me hold it too light. And using a power tool like this, always make sure that it's inside the threads of the screw before you turn it on, or you're going to strip it and you're going to have a very hard time removing it, or removing the screws. Make sure it has a bite there. If you feel like the screw is being stripped, avoid using power tool. Just go back to one of these regular Phillips screwdrivers. Like that one. I guess I hadn't loosened that one up. All right. My most favorite screwdriver. It's a Cobalt. I've never been able to find another one just like this. Same side tip. Take all my screws, put them aside. I always try to have a clean workspace. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and try to remove this back plates carefully. You can use your fingers or your nails. If not, then you can use a tool like this. Don't have one, use a tweezer. Okay, so I removed this and I immediately disconnect the battery. It's very important, very important. Always disconnect your battery before you disconnect anything else. Or go ahead. Let's make sure that. Okay, so put this aside. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and first thing, let's look at this. Let's see if the part that we ordered is the exact same part or not. Cables match. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and this is for the battery. And for the bottom, this one matches. Perfect. Your fingernails are the best tools you got. Best tools ever. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and remove this last screw from here. Okay, this one fell off. This is for the head jack. Sometimes there's different size or different color, so I might want to put it separately, but in this case, these are all the same thing, so I would just put them all together. And okay, so let's go ahead and disconnect this white cable. And sometimes you'll find phones that you face phones that have got 2, 3 of these little cables, and if you don't know which one goes where, I always use a marker. So what I'll do is I mark this one, and then location right there. So now I know exactly which one it goes to. There's like 2-3 cables, and you can use different markers. And don't be afraid; these are not going to cause any damage. All right. So let's see. All right. I'm going to disconnect the camera. With this little tape. And they can come off together. Actually, this, let me see. Sometimes these, when you take the motherboard off, they all come out together. Sometimes they stay there. So that's why I disconnected, just in case that happens. You're not pulling the flux cable, you're stretching it or anything. Pull the cables down. Oh, the big mistake. The biggest mistake a lot of people make, you forget. So the reason it's not coming off is because I forgot to remove the SIM door. Go ahead and take the little key that you have. If you don't have one of these, use a paper clip. So put the SIM door aside. Okay. Motherboard here. Okay, in this case the camera stayed there. We don't mind, we're going to just go ahead and heat it up a little bit, remove it. Alright, now look at the screen, the new screen. What does it come with? It comes with a vibrator. It comes with the earpiece. So we're not going to go ahead and, or the speaker, we're not going to worry about transferring the ones from the old one. We're only going to transfer the things that this new screen does not come with, and this little white cable too, so we don't have to worry about that. We'll just leave that where it is. Alright, now we're going to have to remove the head jack and the charging port. Use a little heat because it has got adhesives. Very important that you don't hold the heat gun in space in the same spot for longer than maybe a second or two. Just keep moving it. Alright. Now find like a little opening like this right here, the little crease, and carefully try to lift it up. And this is a microphone, so you want to go around the microphone, lift that up, because you don't want to rip that flux cable, otherwise your microphone is not going to work. Use the cover remove the cover for the head jack. Oops. Alright, now there's nothing in the way really, but I'm still going to use a little heat. Now you can say, okay, what do I do if I don't have a heat gun at home? Use a blow dryer, hair dryer. Carefully. If you see something is stuck, not coming off, there's always a reason. It has some adhesive, or sometimes it could have hidden screws underneath the tape. Okay, remove the charging port. Let's remove the camera, or the cameras. All right, And time to remove the battery. So taking off the battery, use your hairdryer or heat gun and heat not on the battery itself but on the screen carefully. You don't want to cause any damage to the battery. I really don't care for this screen at this point, but I still don't want to burn anything because this screen is broken. I'm going to replace it for a reason. And use my tool that I use for removing the batteries. Carefully. All right, let's put a different kind of tape on this. Okay, so it cools down really quick. Let's heat it up a little bit. Constantly keep moving the heat gun. Alright, let's try this plastic tool that I made. I've been successful with this in the past. Use the guitar pick to kind of lift it up. I gotta create a little space. This battery sits really deep in there. Okay. Alright, so we made a little space underneath the battery. Oh boy, they really glued this one down. Companies don't want you to be able to fix your own phone, and that's very dishonest of them. Be careful not to cut these cables or this one. These I don't really care for them because these come with extra ones, but you never know when you're gonna need it. Reheat. Alright, so we took the battery off. Let's bend it a little bit carefully. Push it down on a flat surface. Alright, so the battery's off. Now you have taken everything that you need for the new screen. And the rest is basically, you just do the reverse, install everything back to where they were. Install the charging port first. Be careful that it's this mic always. The head jack. It's pretty clean, but I still would like to take the dust off. Push that back in that little space. Clip it on. Okay, so let's unplug this and pull this cable. This is a common problem, a common mistake. This part, simple, but is the most annoying thing, because if it doesn't line up, it will not clip. Okay, so got that. Cover for the charging port. The screw, remember they're all the same size screw, so you don't have to worry about which one is which one. Alright, so let's put the motherboard back in place. Now, which camera goes where? So you should remember that. If not, then most of these plugs are different sizes, the connections. Alright, so that goes there. Do you see any more connections here? So that means no. You don't have to put these in first. There's no more connection. You put the motherboard carefully. Get this cable out of the way. These cables out of the way so that we have no issues with putting the motherboard back in place. Alright. Now, put a selfie camera. Let's get that out. I like to leave it exactly the way it was. So take the tape off. Now insert it back. Plug. Flatten the tape back on it. Remember, everything in this phone or any other phone is there for a reason. So leave it the way you find it.